Anthony keeps going to Dixon's. Yeah.
I'm just the swimming pool.
Yeah.
There's no separation.
Yeah. Now this voice that comes and says, who are you to be so beautiful? Who are you to be so beautiful? That is a potent inquiry for you. Because now, rather than believing that, you can actually use that. That voice is actually can be very helpful now. Who am I to be so beautiful? And you're not assuming anything. You're looking now. Looking, looking, looking. Up until now, that voice has been the voice of criticism, the voice of judgment, the voice of condemnation. But in another way, that can be the voice of inquiry. It can be looked in another way, that can be the voice of inquiry.
It's a beautiful gift to help.
Yeah. Now, is there anything uncomfortable being seen? No, no. Huh?
You look like Mooji. I'm sitting here, you've got the...
I know I'm putting a bit of weight on, but it hasn't got that bad, has it? Yeah. You know, when we come into presence, when we come into our true self, we all look like Mooji. We all look like Ramana. We all look like Christ. We all look like the Buddha. Because that essence then is there. Yeah. I'm really pleased that you shared that today. Very beautiful that you can look in that way. The beautiful thing about inquiry is it's kind of very logical in a way. It's not jumping through a lot of hoops. It just keeps pushing you back until finally you see that everything I can see out there and in here is being seen by a deeper consciousness. And then you're simply tracing that back inwards until you come to the place where there's not a subject and object, but now just that subject looking at itself. That is pure consciousness, rediscovering itself. When you discover it, it will not be something new. You won't think, oh, where did that arise from? It will be the sense that actually that has been here all the way through, But I've overlooked that. I've overlooked it. I've been so loyal to the assumed identity that I've overlooked the true identity. When I say true, it means that which is here all the time. The assumed identity is constant change. So here you can either trace everything back, or you can fully look into the assumed identity, depending on your disposition. Yeah, many ways to inquire. Yeah. The recognition of the absolute and the meeting of the relative. This is truth. This is truth. Yeah. Thank you, Emily. Thank you very much. Thank you. Siesta time, by the looks of things. Early siesta today. Yeah. If we become very clear that there is a story that just seems to play out again and again and again, again and again and again, then we must look into it. Yeah?
Paul, one that really, I don't quite know how to put it into words. The personal love that others have for me, like my parents or family. And that my whole life I've known that's not the love that I know. And yet I reciprocate because I don't want them to feel. It's like I play the game,
Yeah.
and then I get caught in it.
Yeah.
I feel trapped in it. It's like this, I was going through this scenario here of like telling my parents, and I've done this kind of all my life, that you're not my parents. I'm not your daughter, But it's like when I'm there with them face to face, I can't do that.
Mm.
It's like I haven't got the courage to speak the truth.
Would they understand words like that?
My father would.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is the need to share those words?
I think in me there's still something that doesn't follow my truth totally, because I feel it's that I'm deserting, deserting them or something. Deserting people. It's not just my parents. Just it's something my whole life it's like I think I've talked to you about this before. I don't want people to feel unloved, so I kind of like bend to them. Rather than just hold that brightness and
Yeah. Rather than them not feeling unloved, how does that leave you? Because you say you're bending and sort of acting. In some ways, what I'm hearing you saying is that you're acting out of something feels a bit inauthentic for you. That's what I hear you're saying.
Yeah.
So how does that leave you?
Then I feel I'm being inauthentic to myself.
Yeah.
I'm denying myself.
Yeah. The true authenticity is not necessarily going to come through speaking to people about your truth and all these kinds of things, because sometimes that can be very confusing for people. But more that you are resting in that truth in yourself. Because sometimes if we're saying it, but we're not fully in it ourselves, then somehow the ground to say that isn't quite received.
Yeah, I don't actually want to say it.
Oh, you don't want to say it?
No. I think I just meant, I was just expressing the inward saying it, if you know what I mean. No, I don't actually want to say it.
Yeah. Because outwardly, things can continue.
Yeah.
Outwardly things can continue, but inwardly, you know those things. Like, actually, a presence is not your daughter. Presence is not your family. But outwardly, all of that continues. Yeah.
I think it's like almost like as a child that I told you I used to go up to my room because I just wanted to be with presence, and then when I was around people, I felt like a bit like what maybe that you just want to hide that.
Yeah. And now?
No, now I can hold more.
Yeah.
And also it's trusting presence, like, because as I was sitting here the whole time thinking, I want to stay in Spain, and it's like, and then I'm thinking out, and I mean it's like that with India. I didn't want to leave India, and it's like, and I've tried to kind of, and then I just think, well, I just have to trust presence will take me wherever I'm meant to be, and I know that I've surrendered that so many times in my life. And sometimes it feels like a cross to bear, that I'm somewhere where in some ways I don't feel that I can totally. But then I know that that's strengthening me. Because ultimately it doesn't matter, where you are. But I just, it's like, it's a bit like you were saying about the local, it's like I can't go to the future anymore.
Yeah.
I just have to trust.
Yeah.
That I'll be exactly where.
Is there a story, let's just look, that says, if I'm in presence, something is not going to be okay? Just take a moment and just see if there is something there that says, actually, if I give myself the presence, this is going to happen, or something. Just see if there is something there for you.
What came is that Kate will disappear.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, and that again, that's been with me always,
Yeah.
Like, and that I have to hold on to this,
Yeah. Okay, we're right in it now. So that is the the crux of it, that something is still very attached to the assumed identity. And there's a fear that if you're resting in presence, the assumed identity is going to disappear. Yeah. And the conclusion from that is what?
It's funny, though, I think what it has been before sometimes is that the love is so vast.
Yeah.
That it was almost like Kate was embarrassed about that showing that.
Yeah. Sometimes we've found ourselves in positions, maybe as children, where somehow it hasn't been, we've just felt like it hasn't been okay. But now it's okay. Now it's okay.
It's like inwardly, all my life I've had these like scenarios, visions where I'm just like going to hospitals and just embracing, and then when it comes to the reality, I'm embarrassed. I can't do it. It's like I just,
Because somehow still, is it still that the person is doing that? Yeah.
Well, that's because when I'm in presence, I don't need to go anywhere.
Yeah. So then let's look at Kate. Presence, with presence you don't need to go anywhere. So Kate. Let's look for Kate. Rather than saying Kate is going to disappear, let's see who she is in the first place.
I never felt I was Kate, but other people that wanted me to be this Kate.
Yeah. Okay, so who did you feel that you were?
Everything. Love.
And what was embarrassed about that? Was love embarrassed about that? No. So what was embarrassed about that? What is that identity that is that gets embarrassed by it? Is there an identity in that?
There's a seed somewhere.
Yeah. I feel that there's so much love in you that somehow that protecting it and keeping it to spare others is somehow keeping you in a straitjacket. Yeah. Take a chance. Take a chance. Because you've said to me that in many ways the way things are working for you at the moment, still something feels a bit inauthentic with that. When you come to the end of your life, like we were speaking last night, all of those things will not be important.
I often contemplate.
Yeah. What will be important for you is what? Sharing, allowing that. Yeah. And if that's fully allowed to express, then you will die happy. Won't matter about anything else, but that has fully been allowed to express.
It's almost like I still feel that I need to be around the kind of people that can allow that to, to be.
Yeah. That may or may not be true, but if that becomes an absolute for you, then still something will stay in an environment.
Actually, I
yeah.
feel that's not true.
Yeah. Just a story, yeah. But some of these stories, until we see that they're just a story, they become very true for us. And we almost end up not being around those people as well. And we think, okay, now we're just with these ordinary people and I can't be the way I want to be. Something stays stuck in it. That is the assumed identity keeping its position. Yeah.
You know, when you walk past someone on the street and you just feel this overwhelming love, and I come out and think, oh, I'm embarrassed, I can't show that. You know, but then when you do, it's fine.
You said, when I'm in presence.
Yeah.
You said, when I'm in presence, it doesn't even need to be expressed so much.
It just is.
So there's a natural love there, and maybe it will find an authentic way of expression, but it will not be feeling like it needs to go out and do so much of that. Yeah. So this is really about finding the authentic voice in you, the authentic truth in you. And that is presence. You know that. At a certain point, we just have to say yes to that. We just have to say yes to it. What's stopping you saying yes to that fully? Is the mind your master? When the mind says something, do you have to do it? The mind will keep saying no to that because the mind knows it's the end of mind as master. But you have to resume normal service. Normal service is when presence is master and mind is servant. But somehow, if the mind is saying to you, no, we can't do it, you are saluting it. So, of course not.
It's like I'm unfaithful to truth, you know, and it's why?
Yeah. Why? Yeah. Yeah.
Fear. There's a fear of being authentic.
Yeah. Let the fear be there. Let the fear be there. You're seeing now. You're seeing it. There's a fear of being authentic. There's a fear of saying yes to truth.
I've been aware of that all my life.
Yeah.
This fear of it. Like there's, and then there's, but it's becoming more and more painful to be inauthentic.
Yeah.
Separation.
It's like that, isn't it? That every time we are inauthentic, every time we're not in absolute truth, then snipers are out. Then it gets you.
Torturers.
Yeah.
It's like hell comes.
The amazing thing about all this, and we have to laugh at it sometimes when we look at it, is that we are so loyal to that which is causing us all the trouble. That is where the real... if we can just see that I'm giving all my loyalty to that which is causing me all the trouble. And we don't have judgment on top of that, oh, aren't I terrible? But more like, well, that's a kind of craziness in that.
What is it that?
Yeah.
What is it that? That?
Because we think that maybe it's us.
No, I know that's not.
It's the reason. We think it's bad.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why we don't judge it, no?
Like I was saying yesterday, for a certain point, the consciousness goes out only into body-mind conditioning, and we believe we are that. But the movement has to come back. If we only know ourselves as that, then that will be the way we're living. We can't do anything other than that. But in the way we are now, we know the difference between one and the other. Most people don't have no idea of the difference.
It's like my whole life I felt I had to be like that to be with people. That was the way to be beside them, was to step into that world.
Yeah. And again, maybe that was a conclusion that was made as a child. Maybe that was true as a child. That somehow to be with your parents you had to be a certain way. But that is still continuing now. And now you're not with your parents.
Yeah.
Now maybe you're doing that with your partner. Maybe you're doing that with... It just continues. But something has to first become very aware of that story. And then somehow start to trust a deeper consciousness in yourself.
And it's like having the courage to feel that. To feel
Yeah.
that in the body and everything, the fear and
Yeah.
kind of...
You know, yesterday we were all on the beach. All on the beach yesterday. And there was those three guys right on the top of the rocks. You remember?
Yeah.
Right up high. And they're looking down and they're moving backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. And they're up there for, 15, 20 minutes, right? Backwards and forwards. We've been doing that for about 30, 40 years. Backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. And at a certain point we've got to jump. We just got to jump. We've just got to jump. Yeah. It's like, no, I'm going to stay up here a bit longer. I'm just going to... I mean, one guy, even yesterday, he turned around and pulled his trunks down. Like, I mean, I'm not suggesting we do that, but that's what he did. Maybe we do that sometimes, the truth. We think, no, have some of this. But at a certain point, we just have to say, okay, everything else is just leading me to the same conclusions, the same unfulfillment, the same desperation, the same unhappiness. And I don't know what happens when I say yes to this, but I've got a lot of encouragement from others that I feel a kinship with, and they've done it. Why not me? Why not me? I met a friend the other day on the beach where I live at home, and she was saying, oh, the same thing's happening again and again and again. And I've been speaking to her now for about at least 5 years about this, about 5 years. And I said to her very bluntly, I said, you know what? We might end up meeting on the beach like this when I'm 70 and you're 65, and you're going to be telling me the same thing.
No, I don't have nightmares
Yeah.
about that. I see it. It's like a washing machine that goes
Yeah.
year after year, goes round.
We have got to change our level of consciousness, meaning where we identify. That's it. A lot of resistance may come to that because we're so used to following the conditioning, but still we have to stay there. This is why for some people it seems that the only thing that is going to really make them stop is some kind of illness or something. And we don't have to have that. But sometimes it feels like it's the only thing that is going to just...
It helped what you said yesterday as well about if you feel uncomfortable in your body, because it's true when you're in present, it's like you feel ageless and like just strong and it just and open.
And when you're in mind, how do you feel?
I've been feeling old and ill.
Yeah. So here you're feeling old and ill, and here you're feeling ageless and pure and beautiful, and still it's a bit of a difficult choice to make. It's a tricky one.
I'll go for the young version.
Yeah, I think I better just think about it a bit longer. Yeah. In truth, here there's a kind of false safety. False safety. Yeah.
No, you're meant to grow old and die. That's the way it is.
Maybe about 30 for a lot of people. You know, that's it. You know, life's set now.
You see that? I see people that are my age, and I think they're twice my age. You know,
Yeah.
because they've bought into that.
Are they identified with mind or presence?
Mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The proof is everywhere.
Yeah.
The proof is everywhere.
Yeah.
The proof is in the amount of drugs people have got to take, the amount of antidepressants people have got to take, the amount of avoidance. The proof is everywhere. And there's a few people that are saying, actually, it's really lovely to just be in presence. You don't need any of that stuff. You can just sit quietly with yourself, very comfortable, and you can just enjoy yourself. I've got to think about that a while longer. I've got to contemplate it. Yeah. I mean, I'm making light of it in a way because what we're going against is a lot of habit, a lot of conditioning, all that kind of stuff. And there is a lot of resistance that will come. But we have to sort of have a bit of backbone. You know, every time that something comes, we just have a bit of backbone there.
Yeah. Because it does, you know, I can feel it, that all that stuff is like old and dead, you know, and it's like, once you just push it away, it's gone. It can just dissolve again back into the air.
Yeah. Can I share something with you? Yeah. When I've seen you really in presence and sharing that love and being so open, then you are so beautiful. Yeah.
Fine now.
You are that. You are that. You see, again, something will make the conclusion, that I'm saying you are that. What somehow you're doing is still holding that ground over there.
I hear what you're saying. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's that idea that you, when you go there.
Yeah. When that's not there for you, I don't say you're not beautiful, but I say there's something much more alive in you. There's something much more, and that's the same for everybody. It's not you, it's for everybody. Yeah.
I feel it in my, I feel it too, totally. I feel the difference.
Yeah.
It's almost like, again, it's that the kind of the old tired, or the calcified compared to the eternal. Flowing.
So all the evidence has been given now to the jury. They've heard from all sides now. They've heard from every side. Everything's been heard. And now it's time for the judge to make his decision. And that one is going to have to be your own one internally. Because all the evidence is there. There was a story, wasn't there, that Jesus was travelling through, I can't remember, one of the countries, and this man came to him and said, Jesus, my son is dying, is dead. Please can you help me? Please can you come and help? And Jesus said, if you believe in me, he will be saved. If you believe in me, he will be saved. And the man, he said, I do believe in you, but please help me overcome my disbelief. I do believe in you, but please help me overcome my disbelief. It's like we do know this is true, yet we need help overcoming the disbelief. We all know this is true. How can we overcome the disbelief? Simply by just saying, please help me. Give me the strength to really trust this.
Yeah. I have a song at the end goes, step into your brightest glory, my dearest divine love. It's like stepping into it. Garden of flowers, come lay down to rest. Let the earth caress your body and your heart be blessed. Come to the garden of flowers, where the waters flow so pure. Let them wash and cleanse your soul, till there's suffering no more. Come to the garden of flowers, where the birds they seem so true, and the rose so pure and tender unfolds fragrantly in you. And with the earth beneath your heart, and the sky so wide above, step into your brightest glory, my dearest divine love. Step into your brightest glory, my dearest divine love. Step into your brightest glory, my dearest divine love. Step into your brightest glory, my dearest divine love.
So I feel like it's a beautiful way to bring things to an end. Thank you, Kate. Are you okay? Yeah. Thank you. Every retreat we've had, they have made it so simple with the way that they take care of everything. Very touching the way that you guys do it. Just do it, no fuss. Everyone feels very relaxed in that, very supported in that. Very grateful for that.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Anthony, for doing all the music and taking care of all the gadgets. He arrived, he told me, I've only got hand luggage. He's only bringing hand luggage. Open up the hand luggage. I've seen more gadgets in that hand luggage than ever.